All right, second stimulus check in America 2020. When is the second stimulus check coming? How much is coming? When is America going to see the second stimulus check? And also, what happened to your first stimulus check? If you still have not received your second stimulus check, this video is going to address that. But it's a big update. We have a lot of new news for you, namely today, the CARES Act 2.0, which broadens your understanding of what a second stimulus check might look like. It could encompass a lot more. Thank you. Subscribe, like this video. This is day 8 of this channel. The growth has been incredible because of you dropping 400 comments a day. We get back to it within 4 hours and continue it because we are here to assist you and provide you the assistance and information you need to get through this situation. All right, let's get right to it. Second stimulus check. Let's talk about the past news and the new news. First, the new news. The new news is that CARES Act 2.0 is on the front burner. CARES Act 2.0 would be basically where your second stimulus check is coming. McConnell and Pelosi were on the Hill today. Congress reconvened, and they both talked about CARES Act 2.0. By mid-afternoon, just minutes ago before recording this video, Pelosi was talking to Wolf Blitzer on CNN saying we need CARES Act 2.0 to be passed. It's inside of CARES Act 2.0 that your second stimulus check is going to be. Now, CARES Act 2.0, however, will have a lot more, and that's what I want you to understand. No one else is going to talk to you about that except this channel. CARES Act 2.0 is going to give you potentially more than just a second stimulus check. As I've said to you before, and I'm going to repeat it here, I am here for all different types of walks of life of what you are, whether you're a single parent with 2 children at home and work a W-2 job, or you are self-employed and you have 499 employees, or you're just a husband and wife and you have a small self-employed business and you got one other employee. Everyone has a different story. So that's why we're covering all the different mechanisms. And what I want you to understand is the following. This is the takeaway for this video. I want you to start focusing on CARES Act 2.0 more than second stimulus check, and I'll tell you why. Pelosi and McConnell make it very clear that with CARES Act 2.0, they're going to come up with a lot of different mechanisms to get you right. And those mechanisms may be much bigger than second stimulus check. So I don't want you to just sit back and think about one thing, second stimulus check, because whether you are an employee or you are an independent contractor, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. We're going to be updating you on a daily basis. And here's how it works. Let's back up. When CARES Act 1.0 was passed, it included first stimulus check. It included EIDL grant, EIDL loan, PPP. It included a lot of stuff. And a lot of people didn't know what this stuff was at first. Over time, people start chatting. They start talking on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at LALATE. We got 250,000 followers. They start chatting about things, and we didn't even know about EIDL grant in late March. It was so not talked about. And that's what happened with CARES Act 1. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen with CARES Act 2.0. That even though you know these words now, EIDL, PUA, PPP, stimulus check, don't be surprised if these words change in CARES Act 2.0. That's not the president. It's not a member of the Congress. But in CARES Act 2.0, there's going to be a lot of other mechanisms that's going to come in the pipeline. They're going to be called names, and you need to know those names. We're going to tell you what those names are. We're going to follow them. We're going to report to you. And the takeaway from this video is I don't want you to just think that your next stimulus check 2.0 is the only thing that can give you relief. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the horizon. I'll tell you what they are right now. CARES Act 2.0 may include benefits coverage for you that you would not normally have. Medical benefits. There are 2 things that they're thinking about. One, Uber and Lyft drivers and independent contractors that work an enormous amount of times for a business like Lyft or Uber, but are classified as independent contractors and don't get those types of benefits. One of the things they're talking about is, hey, if you work more than 80 hours for a business, we're going to demand that business to provide you benefits. Yeah. So they are concerned that if Uber and Lyft drivers go back to work in May or June and contract coronavirus, where's their medical benefits? They're not going to get medical benefits. They're concerned that employers will keep to classify you as independent contractors as a way not to provide you medical benefits. And they are concerned that if coronavirus kicks off, which is another video today, that you won't have that type of benefits. Next thing is they are worried about workers' compensation. The same thing. Workers' compensation basically kicks in if you are in a work environment and something happens. Now, we know what that other something is now. It's coronavirus. And generally, workers' compensation involves actually, it only involves W-2 employees. So what if you're an independent contractor, you're in a work environment, and you contract coronavirus? Yeah, it's a gap. It's a gap. They're trying to solve that gap. What they're doing is they want to ensure that when you go back to work, that you have these protections. The issue is, the reason why I'm telling you to watch these videos and watch me is because if you go back to work, or you are starting to go back to work, and something happens to you, you may have coverage. You may have benefits that you may not have known you had, because CARES Act 2.0 is going to get passed, that you would never had back in March. It's big. CARES Act is also talking about liability issues, and this is for some of you business owners, that if you have businesses and something happens to your business because of coronavirus, that there is some sort of coverage or benefits that you can have to ensure that your business is not in trouble because of a coronavirus issue that strikes. It's good. It's a protection for, and one side of the hill is arguing for one thing, one side of the hill is arguing for both of them. But but basically, the way Pelosi and McConnell are working currently, which thankfully is good, is they want to just throw everything in. There's currently not a sentiment of not putting things in at the moment. I mean, this is day one on a Monday, but they're not trying to take things out. And the one thing that the president demands that he has put in is not so bad either. So everyone's sort of throwing things in here. What I'm saying to you is the following. When CARES Act 2.0 gets passed, which it will, and we're going to update you, I want you to understand the second stimulus check in America, how much it is and what month is going to come. Yeah, we're going to update you about that, but there could be other things for you. What happened is that in March, when CARES Act 1.0 came out, there was that EIDL grant up to $10,000. That was an SBA loan. Up to a sizable amount of money. There was that PPP process, which, is what it is. And a lot of you may have missed out and thought, hey, you qualified. You may have missed out on PUA. We've been doing these videos on PUA. You just find out about PUA benefits, how much you can get. Can you get that $600 a week? And so you're just finding these things out. The problem is, is these acronyms. It's these names. And you may know what these names, EIDL and PUA and PPP and all this stuff now. Come a week from now, CARES Act 2.0 may have totally different names for all these things, or the new stuff that's coming out may have new names. The point is the following. Second stimulus check in America should be coming. You should see a second stimulus check to pay you for the suffering you endured as a U.S. citizen in the period of April. The check you received was really for March. The original CARES Act, as passed, was to give you 2 stimulus checks. You got one because they revised the final version, reduced it to just 1 check. No one ever thought that 1 check was enough. They all thought it was 2 checks. And so where's that second check? That's the first thing. But the bigger issue is how many other checks. They're talking about more checks over a longer duration. Yeah, you all have heard our videos and the other people's videos and all those stories that talk about 6 checks of $2,000 per month, $12,000. I just don't see that happening right now. I do see another $2,000 check. I do see another $2,000 check coming right away. I do see that check coming from direct deposit, not by paper form. I think the paper form is just a fiasco, and people wanting to hold up a check because they want to put their name on it. Another fiasco. People need checks and they need them direct deposit right away. If you've not received your first stimulus check, we had an article on LALATE.com that talked about an issue of checking where your check might be. Remember that website where you go in and you check on where your check is going and where your funds are, and you go in and it says, can't find you, sorry, who are you, don't know what you are. Well, our article basically said that there's 2 possibilities that could be happening. One, when you filed your returns, not last year, but the year before, or whatever, and you live on Mary Lane, Lane, but you typed LN, Then when you go to the website and you type in LANE, it doesn't recognize you, it recognizes LN. That was the first one. The second one is that some addresses have more official addresses, like typing out Avenue instead of AVE. It is literally defaulting to I don't know you because it does another version of it. So basically the news article said try the other version of your address. It also said try in all caps. You know, when you go to get an EIN or so for your business and you type things in, everything goes to caps generally. So there's all that confusion. If you're ever doing annual statement for a corporate entity on a corporate web on a state's website on the business center, it puts things to caps. It abbreviates boulevard, abbreviates way and street. It's that when you go to the website and you track it, it may not be fine to you. So, second stimulus check in America. I think you will get a second stimulus check. I think you deserve a second stimulus check. And here is the bad news. And I left the bad news for last. The bad news is, because no one wants to hear bad news at the front, the bad news is the medical news that came out on Monday. The bad news is the following. A big CDC report that the president has access to and has apparently accepted its beliefs, and that other persons have had access to, now warns that COVID-19 cases, which are currently 25,000 new cases per day in America, could grow to 200,000 new cases a day in America in the month of June, just 4 weeks away. And that the number of COVID deaths in America could grow to at least 3,000 persons per day in the month of June. If you have 200,000 people contracting COVID-19 per day, new per day, in America compared to 25,000, you don't need CARES Act 2.0. You need CARES Act 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0. You have a big problem on your hands. And this is a recording on Monday afternoon. Trust me, by Tuesday, everyone's going to be talking about the story because it's so scary. It is so scary and so severe that of the 40 states that have opened in the United States that are run by very confused governors, very messed in the head governors, yeah, I said that, very messed in the head governors that open their states, and 16 of them are at the highest peak of cases to date and are showing a rise in cases because people want to go get a tan at a beach and because they want to have a pina colada at a hot dog stand. That is where we're going to get into very big trouble in the month of June. Yeah, I'm leaving the tough stuff at the end because, no one wants tough stuff, but that's the truth. If you have 200,000 new cases per day in the month of June, that means businesses are going to operate in a different way. People are going to stay at home. People are going to have to do different things. And a lot of states are going to be in big despair. The last part of CARES Act 2.0 that I haven't touched upon because it doesn't really concern you so much unless you're a government employee is that they are talking about relief for municipalities, cities, counties, and states. They're really not getting enough money. It's really a bad situation. So with that, a lot of information, a lot of good and a lot of bad. That's the way how I do it. 5 videos today. This is day 8 of this channel. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. We have updates. We don't mince our words. We give you the good and the bad. Today, CARES Act 2.0, second stimulus check, PUA, EIDL grant, EIDL loan. Oh, what a great day it's been. And if you have not gotten your first stimulus check, drop it in the comments. If you know anything about why you might not have gotten your first stimulus check, drop it in the comments. By now, you should have gotten it. The first stimulus check was delivered primarily by paper form, first to seniors. If you're a senior or a person on railroad benefits, the IRS knows where you are because they send you Social Security checks on a regular every month, so they know where you are. You are priority to get your first stimulus check before other people. The next group to get stimulus checks goes by age. So if you are super young, God bless you. If you're 21 and 22 or 25 and haven't seen your first stimulus check, it's going through older people first and to younger people later. If IRS has your direct deposit information on file because you filed your 2019 returns by a direct deposit or 2018 returns and they have their direct deposit information on file from those returns, then you should have seen the funds now. If you've not seen the funds, big problem. There's something going on. But as always, drop us comments. We'll get back to you in about 4 hours. And stay off LALATE.